Hello, thanks very much for coming along to the University of Leeds Foundation Years webinar. My name is John Lees and we're going to be looking today at foundation years at the University of Leeds and the progression routes that you will be able to go on to as well. I'm joined by a number of colleagues today who are here to give you a bit more of a perspective of what of the foundation years from both the student perspective and also the program managers. So to give you an overview of who we have here today, I've got my colleagues from the Arts and Humanities Foundation Year, Dr. Madeline Newman. We've got David Gilding from our Business Foundation Year course. We've got Katie Dobson from our Science Foundation Year programs, and Richard Tavernier from our Social Science Foundation Year course. So after I've given a bit of an overview, they will all give you a bit of information about the course, the modules that you'll be able to study and what you could go on to progress to study after as well. But then we also hear from our students as well. So we have students here today who've kindly given up their time to give you a bit of an idea of what it's like to study at the University of Leeds, what it's like to be a foundation year student and what they went to progress on to after as well. Now I'll give you a bit of an introduction. It's probably worth me talking a little bit about what a foundation year is and the reasons why we have a foundation years at the university and also who will be eligible for them as well. So I'll start off with what is a foundation year. So foundation years essentially are an access pathway which is taught at university and is going to prepare you for going on to study your chosen degree course. And as I mentioned, we have foundation years which lead on to a wide variety of different programs here at the university, pretty much every degree course that we have at the university. And it's an extra year of study that gives you really the chance to develop your knowledge and understanding of your particular subject area before you progress on to your chosen degree. So it really gives you that opportunity to find out more and to really develop your understanding and knowledge of a particular area. But in addition to that as well, you'll also gain the academic skills that you need for higher education study as well. So you're going to be accustomed to using things like the library, academic writing, critical thinking, things which are really important when you progress onto your degree course. And the aim of the foundation year is to essentially do that, to give you the foundation and knowledge to be able to enable you to progress onto your chosen course. So it's really about supporting you with that extra year of study. So, who are foundation years for? I guess is a question some people may have. Well, it's for anybody who feels that they need that extra year, that supportive environment to help them progress onto their particular degree course, their chosen degree. And as a result of that, the courses we're going to speak about today, they're going to have lower entry requirements than if you were progressing straight onto your chosen course. And it often can be quite significantly lower as well. And that's reflected really because it's, the idea of the program is to really support you to get you to where you want to be. And we have a wide mix of ages of students and students from all different backgrounds who are studying our foundation years at the university. It's worth me saying as well that we have a wide mix of ages on all of our courses at the university. We have a diverse, group of students age-wise from 18 right up into the 70s, and it's the same on our foundation years as well. So, foundation years at Leeds offer tailored study skills support. There's a lot of individual support that you can request as well, and that study skills support is there to prepare you for what you go on to study next. So it could be around essay writing, it could be around improving your maths perhaps for scientific or engineering based programs, but also there's support for support you're able to access for what deciding what you're going to do next. So it could be professional development around increasing your employability skills. But the idea of the foundation years, as I've said before as well, is really to prepare you to go on to study in departments across the university, irrespective of whether that's engineering, whether that's sociology, it could be another science program, it could be English literature that you go on to progress, or it could be business studies, international business, economics. your foundation year that you study will give you and will allow you the opportunity to really develop your skills and your knowledge to progress on. And it's a really welcome and friendly environment as well, wherever you study in the university. So it could be at the Lifelong Learning Centre. The Lifelong Learning Centre is a school within the university in which the Interdisciplinary Science Foundation Year, our Business Studies Foundation Year, and also our Arts and Humanities Foundation Years are based. And there's a lot of support that you'll get there, and it's a really welcoming, friendly environment. And our social sciences course is based in the School of Sociology and Social Policy, and in exactly the same way, it's a really welcoming, friendly environment, and where you're really supported to go on to your studies of whatever you want to do next. And also, there's the opportunity for some students to gain bursaries. A bursary is money that you're able to get from the university, which you don't have to pay back. So it's on top of any student finance money that you may be able to get access to. And there could be fee discounts as well that you could be eligible for, depending on your own personal circumstances and background. So there's a lot of reasons to do a foundation year at the University of Leeds, and these, I would say, are just some of them. But it really is a friendly, welcoming environment and a supportive environment to really prepare you for what you want to do next. And to mention as well, some of the reasons I think that we have foundation years at the university is important. And we have we have foundation years at the university for a number of reasons. And one of the main ones is around widening participation. And it's really to encourage adults and people from backgrounds that maybe are not well represented at university to study in higher education. And I'm going to speak a little bit more about that in the next slide. But it's also to promote a sciences uptake as well. So we have a specific course, which I've not really mentioned yet, which is our Studies in Science foundation year, which is specifically there to support students and people who've maybe previously studied humanities qualifications and now would like to get into a scientific degree, and it supports that conversion. Now, but there's also two other foundation years, which unfortunately we're not going to cover today. It's just worth me mentioning that. The first is our International Foundation Year. Now, in the International Foundation Year is a course which is for students who are coming to the UK from different countries to study on before they progress on to their degree. If you have any questions about that, I would really recommend you contact our international office, and they'll be able to provide lots of information. And also our Gateway to Medicine course. A Gateway to Medicine course is taught within the School of Medicine, sorry, the Faculty of Medicine and Health. And it's specifically for students who are under the age of 21 who would be wanting to go into medicine, but don't have the grades to go straight onto that particular degree. Again, we're not going to cover that today. So if you have any questions about that, I would advise getting in contact directly with the Faculty of Medicine and Health, and have a look online. There's lots of information about the Gateway course if you just type in Gateway to Medicine on Google, and they do have talks upcoming in the spring as well that you should be able to attend. So just to reiterate, we're not going to cover the International Foundation Year or the Gateway to Medicine. I mentioned around widening participation, and it is worth me mentioning this in a bit more detail. So the university is committed to widening participation, and essentially what we mean by that is addressing discrepancies in the take-up of higher education opportunities between different groups of people in society. And as a result of that, we do have additional entry criteria alongside our academic criteria. Firstly, just a bit of a disclaimer: if you have any questions about this, or if you're unsure, I really would recommend you get in contact with us via email or via telephone, and we can have a bit more of a conversation, a bit more of an in-depth look for you whether you meet these requirements. But to be eligible for the following courses, so the Business Studies, Arts and Humanities and Interdisciplinary Science course, alongside your academic entry requirements, you also must meet one of the following. So you only need to meet one, but you must meet one of the following. You either grew up in public care, your permanent address is in an area with low participation in higher education, or in the year you took your GCSEs, your school pass rates were below the national average. Now, as I mentioned, it may be a case that you're not immediately sure whether you meet these requirements or not. And I would recommend you get in contact with us via email, and I'll show you the email address in a minute. and we can double check that for you. And just to clarify as well, the last one, we're not talking about your own grades, we're talking about your actual school averages, so the average grade that was received at that year at that particular school. But any questions, and do get in contact with us about that. And as I mentioned, we also have our social science course. Now, for this particular course, we have what's called contextual widening participation criteria as well. So income, postcode, family background, disadvantage, and issues interrupting study will all potentially be considered, as well as your grades, your entry requirements. And it's also worth me mentioning as well that for the social science course, mature learners are initially given preference. So that's any student who's 21 and above. Now that doesn't mean that you won't be considered if you're younger than that. It's just worth me mentioning in that. And also we have our preparation for higher education course, which you may also see as called Interdisciplinary Foundation Year on our website. This is another foundation course that we have, and this is designed for mature students, so those students who are 21 and above who don't currently have level 3 qualifications. If you have any questions about that particular course as well, please do get in contact with us and we can look into whether you'd be eligible for it. So as I mentioned, the email address I would advise you initially use is lifelonglearning@leeds.ac.uk. If you use that email address, then we can get in contact and advise you who you would need to get in touch with. That we can then pass that question that you may have on to either our program managers, so our academic team, or it could go on to our administrative colleagues as well, who are able to answer the questions for you. So any questions about the widening participation criteria that we have, please do get in contact with us if you're unsure. So I previously touched on our Studies in Science course as well, which is a conversion program that we offer at the university. And as I mentioned, this course is for anybody who has studied humanities-based qualifications, perhaps, for example, at A-level, and they're wanting now to go on to, say, study a mathematics degree or a scientific degree or an engineering degree. So it's a conversion course for those students, and there's no widening participation criteria as a result of that. So yeah, essentially we have our entry requirements set up because we want to, you to succeed on the degree course that you progress onto. It is important that you let us know what you would like to progress onto for a number of our foundation years as well. So it's really important that we know what you want to progress onto, firstly to make sure that that's a possibility, and then secondly to make sure that you have the requirements with regards to additional qualifications around GCSEs as well. So maths and English GCSEs are usually a requirement for pretty much all of our programs. However, some courses may also need you to have science. So you might need a science GCSE if you're progressing on to a scientific or mathematical subject area, or you may need a higher grade in perhaps maths if you were thinking about going on to other programs. Perhaps it could be around finance and maths as well. So do check that out. If you have any questions around this, you're welcome to get in contact with us, and we can always look into it for you to find out if you would be, if you'll be eligible. Now, as something else that you'll find as well is all of our courses have an interview as part of the selection process as well. So all of our foundation years that we've spoken about, you would be expected to either attend an interview or a selection day. So as long as you meet the initial eligibility criteria, we'd then get in contact just to let you know that you'd be attending an interview. And, just to mention as well that if you are an adult learner, if you're a mature learner, so 21 and above, your life experience will be taken into consideration in a lot of circumstances. So do get in contact with us and do check with us for any mature entry as well. Email us at lifelonglearning@leeds.ac.uk with any questions, and we can get them answered for you. And check our course directory as well, because there's lots of information on there that you'll freely be able to have, access at your own leisure online as well. So yeah, student finance, just to kind of give you a brief overview, student finance is not affected by doing a foundation year. You'll still be able to get access to your maintenance loan, to your tuition fee loan, because the foundation year is classed as the normal duration of your degree. So by doing it that extra year, it in no way is a negative to financing. If you want to go on and do a year in industry or a year abroad after you've finished your foundation year, you've gone to your degree program, you'd still be eligible to do that as well. It wouldn't stop you doing that in any way. And you still get access to any additional financial support as well. It could be around childcare, studying as a parent, it could be disability grants as well. So that wouldn't be affected. You could still get access to that. And also just to mention that the University of Leeds as well has additional financial support that you may be able to get access to, particularly around a bursary called the Leeds Bursary, which could be an additional £3,000 that you may be able to get on top of your student finance, and that's depending on your own household income. And there's also a fee discount for your foundation year that you might be able to get access to as well. So lots of information that you can find online, and we'll send you a link in the follow-up email so you can have a look at that yourself. But just be aware that that it's not going to affect you negatively by doing a foundation year with regards to finance. So just a very quick overview, and I'm not going to spend much time on this because our course team will be able to talk about this in detail. But here's some progression routes that you may be able to do via interdisciplinary science. As I mentioned, the offer requirements are often much lower than progressing directly onto an undergraduate degree. So typical A-level offer for interdisciplinary science is CDD. So the next one, which Olivia is going to go on to, is our Arts and Humanities foundation year. So typical A-level offer is CDD. Again, a wide range of progression routes into things like history, philosophy, music, classical civilization, modern languages, and our business studies foundation year. Typically A-level offer is CCC. Just to mention as well that other qualifications are accepted, so BTEC, access to HE diploma qualifications. So don't think it's just A-level, it's just to give you an idea. And there's a number of progression routes here into the Leeds Business School as well. So the next one is our Social Sciences foundation year as well. And there's, as I mentioned, a wide number of progression routes into the School of Sociology, Social Policy, Law, Politics, Education, and also healthcare courses as well. So I'm going to pass on to our program managers now.
So good evening, everybody. My name is David Gilding. I'm the program manager for business management programs within the Lifelong Learning Centre, and this full-time program is a part of that. So business studies with foundation year is slightly different to some of the other foundation programs within the Lifelong Learning Centre, in that the students will spend 2 years with the Lifelong Learning Centre and then progress to Leeds University Business School. So we keep the students for 2 years, which is in a sense great because we can use those 2 years to really develop. John referred to academic skills early on. We can use the 2 years to develop the academic capability of the students, such that when they join Leeds University Business School for years 3 and 4, which you can see as one of the bullet points there, they're in a very strong position then to succeed. So 2 years with us, and then transfer from the Lifelong Learning Centre into Leeds University Business School onto their chosen pathway. During the first 2 years, the students will cover a number of modules. Some are compulsory and some are specific, depending on which pathway you've chosen. The compulsory modules in year 1, just to give people a flavour, would be one's called Innovation and Enterprise, and the other one's Introduction to Marketing. Innovation's quite good fun because one of the assessments there is rather like the Dragon's Den that you might have seen on the television. So the students present a pitch for a business idea to a group of dragons. Well, the dragons are lecturers, but it works quite well, and the students then come up with various quite innovative ideas about a business proposal. And then the other core module is marketing. In year 2, all students, regardless of the pathway, will do something called organisational behaviour, which again gives students a nice overview as to sort of general business context. There's the different pathways. You'll see there are 7 of them. Management, economics, HRM, management with marketing, IB, International Banking and Accounting. The UCAS entry is the same for all 7 pathways, as indeed is the widening participation criteria, so they're a given. And for us, that will be 96 points, which equates to 3 Cs or triple merit, or 2 merits and a C if you've got a combination. The only difference is that the quantitative pathways, which are accounting, banking and economics, they'll want a slightly higher grade at GCSE maths. I think it's a 5 rather than a 4. And then management with marketing looks for a slightly higher grade in GCSE English. So the UCAS tariff's the same, it's just that some of the GCSE requirements vary across pathways. And one final point, I will keep this brief because I'm mindful of time, that there are other speakers to follow me. Once the students progress to Leeds University Business School, they will graduate with exactly the same degree as those students that have entered on the standard 3-year degree. So if you transfer, for example, onto the accounting pathway, then your degree will say BSc Honours Accounting and Finance. If you transfer onto economics, it will say BSc Honours Economics. Because they've transferred from LLC, Lifelong Learning Centre, to LUBS, there is no mention of business foundation year. That only exists for the first 2 years. So it's a 4-year programme designed to help students then with that progression after the 2 years when they go on into LUBS.
Hi everyone, I'm Katie. I'm the Programme Manager for the Science Programmes at Leeds. What I want to talk about today is just a snapshot and an overview of what we offer. So as we have many degrees in science, engineering and health at the University of Leeds, we progress onto the majority of them. What we do on the foundation year is we group our students via what we think are the kind of core essential topics that you need to study. So on the foundation year, for example, if you wanted to progress onto a biology or a health-based degree, after the foundation year, we have some core modules, which are kind of a math and chemistry, and your main theme for the foundation year would then be a biology focus. And then as part of all of our foundation offerings, we have some optional choices, whether you'd want to study some extra biology or chemistry. For our engineers and our kind of physical sciences, so a physics degree, a chemistry or a maths degree, again, you would have the same kind of core modules, and then your main theme would be around physics and the kind of applied sciences. And again, you would have choice around whether you wanted to study some more physics or some chemistry. So the foundation year is designed around what is the kind of key theme. We also progress onto our earth sciences. So thinking of things like geology, geography, geophysical kind of sciences. And for that, again, it's the same kind of core modules with a geological science-based emphasis. And then you get choices over things like biology and further study. So our degree year, our foundation year is designed around what are the kind of key topics that you need to study to get you onto that degree programme. So thinking of that though, we have a difference in what we teach. So for example, even within our maths, what we want to do is dedicate our modules to the maths that we think are essential for the degree you want to progress onto. So for example, we have several different maths modules based on which of those pathways we think would be best suited for your degree progression. So for example, we have a discrete maths and calculus module, or we look at things from more analytical methods, depending on which kind of degree you want to do. Again, for our chemistries, those are also themed around the topics that we think are most essential for the different degree programs. So we have modules on sustainability and the chemistry around that, industrial chemistry, biochemistry. For our biology, we have different themes again. So looking at applied biology, biology of population, so thinking about kind of population growth in different kind of things around that, organisms. And then again, in our physics, we have the varieties in all of those. And so the modules you would study with us are based on the degree you would want to do. So it kind of helps us if we know what degree it is that you're interested in, or at least if you have an idea of an overview before you choose the foundation year. So how do we actually teach on the foundation year? Because we can progress onto such a wide variety. If I were to list all of our different degrees we progress onto, we'd be literally here another 3 hours. So our teaching is designed to kind of mimic and how we can best support you for those degrees. So we've analysed all of our progression routes, and we teach in very similar ways to make sure you're best prepared. So we do a mixture of seminars, workshops, traditional lectures, lab-based sessions, some field work potentially. So our kind of class-based and group-based work is based on what you would see on that degree programme, so that you're best prepared. Likewise, our assessment methods. So we have a variety of different assessments, so thinking around problem sets, so things like kind of solving maths-based questions, lab-based assessments, so kind of more analysis techniques, group work, videos, case studies. So our assessment methods, just like our modules, are quite varied to give you the best replication of what you can experience then on the degree you want to go on to. And then our teaching and assessment kind of works in conjunction with that progression degree. So for example, we'll have some modules that are more exam based, because that's what you will expect, and we have some modules that might be fully coursework based. So our modules and our degree, our year, is hopefully best suited to prepare you for that degree you're going on to.
Hi everyone, my name's Maddie Newman and I'm Programme Leader for the Arts and Humanities Foundation year, and I want to talk to you a little bit about our pathway into Arts and Humanities. So our programme leads into a degree in the Faculty of Arts, Humanities and Cultures at Leeds, and as you can see here from the slide, we have a wide variety of progression routes and academic schools that we progress into. So from our programme you can move into a course in those different academic schools, and we offer programmes that are also in our joint honours area as well. The course itself also leads into practice-based degree courses at Leeds, so courses in areas like fine art, design and music and performance, although we're not a practice-based foundation year. And I can talk to you a little bit about our modules and how our course is structured. The course places a big emphasis on helping you to develop your academic skills for success on a programme in Arts and Humanities and Cultures. And our next slide shows an outline of the modules, and I'll just talk a little bit about those if that's okay. So you can see here that we have 5 core Arts and Humanities modules, and those are designed to provide a basis for future study at Leeds, and we look at a range of conceptual topics in different ways across the year. And we also have a 6th module, which is a discovery module, and that is a module that is taught at level 1 in the academic school that you'd like to go into, or the subject area that you'd like to go into, and that gives learners an opportunity to have a go at studying a subject relating to their future subject specialism, but also to get a feel for studying the wider university, and that complements our Lifelong Learning Centre modules. So across the year, we explore different areas of focus. We have an interdisciplinary course, which means we're introducing learners to lots of different topics and skills and ways of working and thinking in the arts and humanities. In the first half of the year, in semester 1, learners begin studying our modernity and post-modernity module, which has a kind of cultural studies focus, and we look at history and society and culture. And we also consider different areas and the intersections between religion, politics and society in our second semester 1 module, which explores a case study of Leeds and looks at contemporary issues. Learners also begin a year-long module, which is a long thin module that takes place right across the year, called Image, Music and Text, which has an element of creative thinking within it. There's a portfolio element, an opportunity to think about the way in which image, music and text relate together. And then after Christmas in semester 2, learners take our communications module, which brings us into the contemporary moment. We spend a lot of time thinking about kind of issues in digital media and current communication, and that's taught alongside a more historical module, the Renaissance, which complements kind of that contemporary study, and by taking us into a more historical focus where we look at the English Renaissance as part of that module. So those 5 modules introduce learners to topics that will inform their future degree study, and we also have a strand of skills support right through all of our modules, and and the skill supports embedded to introduce learners to the skills they need for success, but also to kind of focus on the range of assessments which we have across our modules. The assessment is quite varied, really, to give learners the opportunity to have a go at all the different types of assessment they might experience within Faculty of Arts, Humanities and Cultures.
So I'm Richard Tavernier. I'm the Director of the BA Social Science Foundation year. So I'm asking, is this course for you then? So the BA Social Science Foundation year programme is designed for students who don't have the standard entry requirements for one of our 3-year degree programmes. So the traditional standard A levels, that's what we're saying. So if you feel you've missed out on education, or you're returning to education after taking time out and want an opportunity to really realise your potential, then this course will give you a firm grounding in social sciences and prepare you to progress onto one of our social science degree courses, which I'm going to discuss in 2 minutes. The length of the course is 4 years, so it's a 1-year foundation programme, and then you hopefully progress onto a 3-year degree programme. So from day one then, you'll be immersed into a supportive and friendly environment. And furthermore, you'll be able to explore society and social change, and that will be in the local, the national and global context, whilst learning how to study and develop important skills such as academic study skills, and most importantly, critical thinking, which you can use for any of the as a tool for any degree programme you go on to do. And again, these will all prepare you for undergraduate degree, for your undergraduate degree, and well beyond that as well. So modules and teaching then. So we have what we call blended learning around our teaching. So we have on campus, so in the classroom, we have workshops and seminars. So our workshops are large groups and our seminars are smaller groups. And we also have online live and pre-recorded lectures. So we use what we call Teams online. So at times we will have live sessions, but some of the lectures will also be pre-recorded as well. We study on 3 modules. So modules are the elements of learning. Researching and studying the social sciences then incorporates study and academic skills, crime and criminal justice, and finishes with politics and international studies. Social inequalities in contemporary society is where we look at areas of disability, race, ethnicity, sexuality, gender, and some other areas as well. And our 3rd module, Understanding Social Welfare, looks very much at social welfare, the welfare state, the foundations of the welfare, tracing it back to 1601. And we look at some political ideologies around conservatism, Marxism, Leninism, socialism and beyond.
On the slide, you can see examples of the progression routes from the BA Social Science Foundation year. So I hope that gives you a sense of the breadth. So we've got Richard's contact details here and also the website for more information, and we'll be sharing slides and a recording of the session after today as well. So you'll be able to see more information about that programme there. So I think now we're going to hear from some of our foundation year students who've very kindly given up some of their very busy lives to join us and share a little bit about their experience on these degrees. So first of all, we're very lucky to have been joined by Shahed and Azir from the Business Foundation year. So can I hand over to you guys to tell us a little bit about your experience on the foundation year? Shahed and Azir?
Hi, I'm Shahed.
I'm Azir.
And yeah, we completed the foundation year this year in June. So we did 2 years. we're on the accounting and finance pathway, and we're currently at the Leeds University Business School doing a full accounting and finance degree. You want to talk?
Yeah, so the first 2 years we were with LLC. At first, I did get offered the 3-year course, but then I took the foundation year. At first, I didn't really think it was good for me because obviously the name of foundation, but after doing the full 2 years with David, it was something that I don't regret, and I'm really, really happy that I did that extra year. I've had a lot of support, even though I'm not with LLC right now. Both me and Shahid, if we ever need any help, we can always email our tutors and have a meeting and get some help with any of the work, because at LUBS it's quite hard to get some help with some of the tutors since they're always so busy. But with the LLC, you'll always have that support system throughout your full 4 years.
Throughout, obviously with the pandemic and COVID and everything, a lot has changed with university life. I know a lot of the tutors will agree with me on that. And with the first year being very hectic, we received quite a lot of support and help from David in particular with a lot of issues we were having, because LUBS, it was intense at first with what we were learning, and everything moved to online and seminars and exams, but David was there to help support us and give us advice and tips on what we should do. Again, I'm really grateful for what David gave, his help and support, and I feel like it's quite beneficial because I feel like we had a head start towards the first years, because you learn a lot of the basic university stuff like referencing, exam techniques and stuff in the foundation year, while a lot of the first years didn't really know how to do that. So we're kind of like, we had to give them guidance, and we kind of had a head start in that sense. So I'm quite really happy that I did the 2 years with the Lifelong Learning Centre, and I did the foundation year. Anything else you want to add?
Yeah, on what Shahid was saying, like right now in lectures, they do go through most of the content quite quickly, and it's more of individual work outside of lectures. But having them first 2 years with David and the rest of the team at LLC, it's been a lot easier for us because we've had the notes from the first 2 years, going through all that work in a lot of detail. Whereas now in LUBS, we've actually been helping out some of the students because they've been struggling, whereas we've been fine because we've got that core foundation from the first 2 years.
Thank you very much, Azir and Shahed. That's given us a real overview of how well you felt supported, and it's great to hear that it's even kind of given you a head start to be able to support others at the Leeds University Business School, and particularly through these difficult COVID times. So well done to both of you for getting through that period. So thank you very much. And I think next we've got Bethany, who's joined us from the Arts and Humanities Foundation year. And Bethany, I'm not sure which degree you've progressed on to now, but it'd be lovely to hear from you if you're able to say a few words.
So I did the Arts and Humanities Foundation year, and I now do history. So I completed it like 3 years ago now. I'm in final year now. So it's been a bit of a while, but I did it because I hadn't done a history A-level. And I have to say, yeah, it was invaluable. I don't think I would have been able to do the history degree without it. So I gained experience in the humanities. I gained like written and essay writing skills that were particularly useful going into first year, with comparatively to the other students on the course. There was a real difference in my essay writing with compared to other students, and a lot of communication skills, and also with history in particular, it was really useful for primary source analysis, which was really helpful. And then I think it was also really good because it was quite a small group, and we had 2 tutors, so we knew everybody. We knew all the tutors, so it was a really comfortable environment to learn in, and we had one-to-one sessions as well, which were really useful. And so it meant that it was very comfortable, and I was able to talk to any of my tutors about any issues I had, and also if there was anything that I needed that conflicted with my studies or anything, I felt like I could always tell them. So that was really nice. And what's also good about it is that you kind of gain a knowledge of the uni, of the libraries, but also in particular in the LLC you gain like a study space for life. So I still use the common room if I need somewhere to study, even though my foundation year was 3 years ago. And there's like a library, and yeah, I just think it really helped like the adaptation into uni life, and I felt a lot more integrated going into first year than other students. So yeah, it was good.
Thank you very much, Bethany. Again, you've given us a really strong sense, especially as now you're in your final year, but you still have that home for life as a student, to be able to come back to the Lifelong Learning Centre. And I think that's what we really try and provide. So for mature, part-time and foundation year students, we want to support them throughout their studies. So at any point in your degree, you're welcome to use those resources. That's a really great overview of your journey. Thank you, Bethany. And I think last but very not at all least, we're going to hear from Adrian, who studied the Social Science Foundation year and has now moved on to a degree in criminology and criminal justice.
Hi, thanks, Olivia. Really, as everybody's touched on from the students you've heard so far, I can only really echo what they've actually said. And from the the foundation year that I was on, it's so supportive. The foundation year is just a massive support, really. That's really the main selling point, I would say, that you're going to be supported from the very start. It's a fabulous year of learning, and I would say really engage with your content, with the staff, and really engage and enjoy it, because I found it a huge, hugely beneficial to do, and it's been the keystone to my journey. And I think you won't regret it by actually doing the foundation year. It'll give you so much support in study skills, confidence in essay writing, critical thinking, as Richard touched on. The modules that I took part in were hugely engaging. Again, it's supportive. Again, it will challenge you as well. So don't sit and think it's going to be an easy year. It certainly isn't. I'd be lying if I said it was easy. It's challenging, and it's as difficult as you make it. But what I would suggest is really engage, really sort of sit and learn, and really absorb what the foundation year gives you. And if you fully engage with it, and fully take advantage of the additional services that are available to you, like Skills at Library, and really sort of, get involved with all the additional support and other opportunities that come with the foundation year. Honestly, it'll be the best thing you've ever done. I've moved on to criminology and criminal justice. That was partly due to the module that we did in foundation year. But again, it's social science with crime running through it. So very much still social science, but really just engage with it, really sell yourself as well on your applications, really sort of do a good job of your application and really make them stand out. But most of all, enjoy it. And I just want to wish everybody the best of luck, and hope to see some of you around campus once you've joined. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Adrian, and an excellent point there, that you get out what you put in as well. It's great to hear how well you also feel you've been supported. But yeah, it's about the effort that you put into the foundation year, as it is for the rest of your degree, and how well that set you up. So thank you to all our students who've joined us this evening. It's been really useful to hear your perspective. This is our email address if you'd like to get in touch with us if you have any follow-up questions. And for adults who might have been out of education for a while, we do also have a guidance service, and it's possible to make a one-to-one appointment for advice and guidance.
Thank you very much for coming. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Hope it's been useful. Thank you for joining us. Take care. Bye-bye now.